All right, so Disney at Disney 23 in Brazil just announced that Ice Age 6 is going to be worked on, but here's my question. What about Rio 3? The second film was already 10 years ago, and people are still waiting to find out what happens on the third film, even though it's been already 10 years to this year that the second film was released in April 2014, and about 80% of the fan base, they're still waiting to see what happens on the third movie. They're probably still sitting there with their dick in their hands waiting to find out what happens, and instead of Disney working on a third Rio, they'd rather work on a sixth Ice Age, which makes absolutely no fucking sense, by the way. And you can't say that Carlos Saldana, who directed Rio, is retired, because he literally just got done directing this movie this past August. This is literally the same guy that made the first two Rio films. So you're telling me that he can't be retired because he just literally released a movie with the guy from Shazam earlier this year. And what makes it even interesting is like half the voice talent of the first two films, I believe they're still out there doing acting. As a matter of fact, there's a film with Jesse Eisenberg that is coming out this month with Macaulay Culkin's brother. There's a movie that's coming out this month called A Real Pain that stars not only Jesse Eisenberg, but also Macaulay Culkin's brother. So you can't say that, Lex Luthor over here is completely done, because not only was Jesse Eisenberg being featured in a new film that's coming out this month, but also George Lopez was in Blue Beetle, DC Blue Beetle, and Anne Hathaway did a independent film, I believe. It was called like Armageddon Day or something. My bad, it was 2 years ago, but literally Anne Hathaway was in this movie as well. And you're telling me that you couldn't be working on a third Rio instead of a sixth Ice Age, which, it's been almost 10 years since the second film, so Disney must be smoking crack if that's the case. And like half the people of the fan base, we've retired and moved on and did better things with our time, but that still doesn't mean there's like people out there that are, not constantly surfing through eBay or Amazon trying to find, old merchandise that had to deal with this film, or, are still a part of the two-part disc film community that, released this thing 2 years ago. But it completely boggles my mind that Disney would release a sixth Ice Age but not a third Rio, considering how the second film was already almost 10 years ago, and like half of the supporting actors are still out there doing, independent films or doing their own thing, and yet they would release a sixth installment for a franchise that barely anybody gives a fuck about. Just wow. Bob Igor is an idiot.